Okay, be prepared to be amazed. Do you know what the eighth wonder of the world is? Compounding. And I'm going to share with you and your team how to make 5% equal 27% increase in starts. And it really breaks down into the overall student funnel. This is our student funnel journey and our compounding formula that will create 27% increase in starts from just a 5% increase in the different areas within the funnel. It's pretty amazing when you look at it this way, but it can absolutely be very impactful for you and your organization. We've seen it done many times, and it's really a matter of just stepping back and making these improvements. So I'll share with you all our basic overview. So when you look at a typical student journey, you have impressions, right? Impressions, basically, then folks are clicking on the ads to get to your site. They're filling out a lead form. They're getting in contact with you. Then they're either enrolling, filling out an application, and then eventually starting, right? And so basically, what we've done is we've built 10 different ways. So there's over 60 plus ways in this formula for you to create impacts within each part of these funnel sections. So these are just some of the tactics that we've built out. So, for example, improving clicks. Let's just say we dig in there. Obviously, headlines can impact clicks. What are you doing to improve headlines? Visuals, making sure your visuals are powerful. Social proof, making sure you're utilizing that. Geo-targeting. We've got actual list of all of these across each one of these, and we've also created a full checklist in Google Sheets. And if you'd like that, please let me know, and we'll give you access to it. But that'll be an absolute checklist across every single one of these tactics that you and your team could make improvements. So when we think about compounding, it's really a matter of an improvement stacking upon an improvement. So when you look at a student funnel, and here are the two different funnels that we have here in this case, you look at, let's say we have a current funnel of impressions. We've got a million impressions, 4% of those turn into clicks. So we're at 40,000 clicks. We've got a 10% conversion rate on leads on that. So we've got 4,000 leads. 2,000 of them we're actually able to get on the phone, connect with them, gauge some interest, and we end up enrolling, let's say, 10% of those, so 200 enrollments, and 80% of those end up starting. So that's great. So this is a typical funnel, right? You've got this going down. Let's say we go to the team and say, we want to have a 5% increase in enrollments this year. This is our target. This is our goal. So the team will look at this and say, well, okay, 5% increase is basically 8 more starts. So if we go after an additional 5% growth, we're going to get 8 more starts. So 168 starts. Now, what if we went to the team and said, hey, we want to make 5% improvement in each of these areas? Can we find a way to make 5% improvement in efficiency, in impressions, in clicks, in leads, in contact rate, and enroll rate, ultimately creating more starts? And so when you look back, this is where we actually have defined all the different ways that you could actually go in and make these improvements across each of these touch points in your education marketing efforts. So let's go back to this funnel, and let's just say we, instead of 100,000, or sorry, a million, we have 5% increase. So we have 1,050,000 impressions. And then we see a 5% increase in CTR. So we're at 44,100 clicks because it's 4.2% of 1,050,000 now, not just a million. So now you're at 44,100 clicks. Let's say we make a 5% improvement there from 10% to 10.5%. And now we're at 4,630 leads versus 4,000 leads, just by making small incremental improvements in each of these areas. And let's say our contact rate improves by 5% from 50% to 52.5%. Now you're at 5% higher. So you're at 52.5% of 4630 leads, not 4,000 leads. So now you're at 2,430 contacts. And let's say your enroll rate increases by 5% as well, from 10% to 10.5%. Now, instead of 200 enrollments, you're actually at 255 enrollments. Again, just making 5% improvements in each of these areas. And lastly, let's say you make a 5% improvement in your start rate. Some schools call it the show rate, melt rate. There's a lot of different ways to look at this. You're actually at 84% versus 80%. And now you're at 214 starts. So instead of going to your team and saying, hey, let's get a 5% start rate, which will give you 168 students, now if you made just 5% improvements across the funnel, the compounding efforts create a 27% improvement versus a 5 in starts. So your team would be at 214 versus 168 starts. This is absolutely doable. We see this and do this with our clients. It's just a matter of taking the time to plan all this out and start to work on each of these areas and making impacts and improvements. If you'd like our checklist, let me know and we can get that over to you. But we have a full checklist with each and every one of these tactics for improvement. And let me know and DM me and we will send that over to you. Thanks.